A 48-year-old Guatemalan man who was being detained at the Camp East, Montana detention facility at Fort Bliss has died. ICE officials saying that man died from natural causes. The man, Francisco Gaspar Andres, was pronounced dead by medical staff last Wednesday morning. According to ICE, Gaspar Andres was awaiting removal proceedings after allegedly entering the U.S. illegally by walking across from Mexico at a place not designated as a port of entry. ICE says the man was transferred from Florida to El Paso and detained at the camp in September. ICE officials telling KTSM the man was admitted to the hospital back in November. Now, while the cause of his death is still pending, medical staff attributed the death to natural liver and kidney failure. And concerns have been raised before over those conditions inside Camp East, Montana since the facility first opened at Fort Bliss back in August. Multiple human rights groups have called for ICE to shut it down, citing dozens of sworn declarations alleging violence, medical neglect, and coercion. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo spoke with a woman last night who says her husband experienced those conditions firsthand.
Courtney says it took days before she even knew where her husband had been taken. And when she finally heard from him, he told her the conditions inside the facility were far worse than any he'd been in before. This was back in November.
He said the officers were in there being really violent towards the inmates, giving them very little to no food, and was just in there treating the inmates like really, really bad. And he told me himself that he needed help, which he never has done that.
The ACLU of Texas, along with other civil rights groups, say that they are hearing similar accounts. The letter they sent to ICE includes statements from detainees at the facility describing violence, sexual abuse, and medical neglect at Camp East, Montana.
There are serious issues with the food that people are provided, and in the midst of all of this, we're seeing again that people are being there's force used against them for simply asking for their basic needs to be met, like receiving medication, food, or other basic necessities.
ICE and the Department of Homeland Security have previously disputed reports of poor conditions. The agency says people in custody receive food, water, medical care, clean clothing, and access to legal support. It maintains that there are no inhumane conditions in ICE facilities.
Well, Diana, thank you for that report. Now, we also reached out to Senator John Cornyn and Congressman Tony Gonzalez about those accusations. Cornyn's team said they were unavailable to speak, and we have not heard back from the congressman's camp as of this morning.